Sound checking moments. Wait, it says you are live. Oh shit, I need to hit the... Where's the thing? Oh, this is a complete fail. What the hell, man? I didn't have the keyboard turned on.
Where? What? This feels like a false start.
Everything went crazy. Okay. I think I think we're I I'm guessing we have sound.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And man, we are off to a heck of a start here. It's been a crazy day. I was up stupid late last night for no reason, and now I have been just absolutely busy all day instead of taking it easy and getting ready to have all the fun with you guys. But yeah, so this bag, we got a whole lot done last week. I'm hoping we can do a bunch this week. My sinuses started up about 30 minutes ago, and I have no idea what's going on there. It's just a little bit weird. Hoping I can cope with it. Anyway, what do we got? We have the secret word game is still going on. And yeah, we're still looking for a winner for these two bracelets. All you have to do is chat. And if you happen to say the magic word, the bot will let you know that you won, and we'll hit the button and do the whole woohoos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that'd be awesome. And I am joined by my lovely wife, but I think you probably caught a glimpse of her with that whole mix up. That was weird. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of it. I was watching, I don't know, the other wrong screens, I guess. So yeah. Anyway, this, and for anybody who hasn't seen this yet, is a super, super easy bracelet that just, the only thing that makes it complicated is the number of strings. There's 96 strings in it. So it's just kind of big, essentially. Um, but the pattern's easy. It makes a nice little bag. It's going to be awesome. I posted an Instagram reel earlier today of it, which, kind of showed off how awesome it's looking. Oh, we have updates on the watch hours. So obviously we're trying to get the watch hours up. We want to try to get this channel monetized. Check this out, guys. We are now at 2,577 watchtowers, leaving us only 1,423 to go to that magic 4,000 thing that Google wants. So yeah, getting there. That's awesome. So essentially, this bag only requires two kinds of knots. The ones that, like I'm doing right now, that go to the right, and the ones that go to the left. So nothing fancy, nothing crazy. This is a perfect thing for somebody who's ambitious, but not, super proficient in doing crazy, complicated patterns. I think that's kind of awesome. So I'm not sure how close to being finished we can actually get today. So this is the fourth live stream for making this. So essentially, I've not been working on this at all. Like I haven't done a single knot that where it wasn't actually on live stream. So um, the link below the video actually will take you to my webpage where I made the pattern video is, where I show the pattern in the images. Plus, it's got a few of the Instagram posts, and it has um oh, all of the videos from the live streams. So yeah. Hello, Nikki. So yeah, it's it's come along. Like it's only been 3 live streams to get to this far. So wait, that's 3 6 like 8 hours, right? So 8 hours to get, I'm gonna say it's not like, it's more than halfway done. Way more, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I haven't figured out how long it's supposed to be yet. That's something I think that we're going to figure out tonight, and that will help me to figure out like how much more we actually have to do. So that's kind of the plan here. Oh, and Mandy is working on the kumi that will be the strap for this. So when this thing gets, basically when my end gets finished, then that will be ready, and then we can put the two together, and this thing can go in the shop. So I don't recognize the Nikki name. Are you new to the channel, or is this like your first time discovering me? If you know, no, I don't mean to, push or whatever, but welcome. And we kind of, a lot of us have almost become a family over here. That we get the same people that come around. Um, DA is Dana, and I know her from Michigan, from back when I used to live in the US. And Rainbow is this awesome person who used to make bracelets that now does embroidery instead. She found it like a new use for the string. So this bag right here has been 8 hours so far, and the the funny part about that is the side that has way more accomplished is on the other side of this, and I can't. Well, oh, I can show you it. Hang on. Ha 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 ha. I'm clever. Okay. Desktop. This is the web page that all the stuff is in. So this is where I made the pattern. Come down here. These are the colors that my wife had picked out for me, which made this all nice and complicated. Here's the pattern that I made. Here's the live streams. Then here's like what we got done on the first live stream. Second live stream, what we got done on the second one. And then check this out. Wait, is this gonna actually check it out, guys? This is the bag that we are making over on my live streams, and it is coming out really, really, really cool. We still have a ways to go, but we'll see how far we can get with it tonight. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Singapore time. I don't know what time that is for you, but come check it out. We'll see how far we can get. Maybe we get it finished tonight. I don't know. So yeah. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch. Whoops. Oh, it automatically stopped. I didn't know it does that. And then, so this was last week's live stream. And then later, sometime maybe tomorrow or Monday, I will add the live stream that we're doing now to that webpage. And yeah. Yeah, like, what were we just talking about, the potential hazard of having two Kevins? That seems to have been like a recent, was that last week? Was that last live stream where Phil started to say something and you snapped with a no so fast it made me almost get whiplash. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It's all a dream. So basically, all these little squares inside of this purplish blue are just alternating. Um, one goes to the right, and the next one goes to the left, and it gives it a sort of almost a basket weave kind of look to it. So, and like I said, because it's like relatively simple knots, and because you can really easily see what the next thing is going to be, it really makes this whole pattern really quite easy to do. Mind you, the plan, I don't know you guys have seen the videos, but I did a bunch of bag patterns, and it seems like they almost all got progressively more and more difficult. And the whole idea was that I wanted to play around with this pattern that I thought was interesting, and that what we would need to buy string for it. And if we were going to buy string for that, we might as well make it a lot more string because that's when you get the discounts. And so somehow it kind of spiraled into quite a number of things. And yeah, so needless to say, there's going to be a bunch of string coming, a bunch of bags to be made. And yeah, we're talking about having projects that'll last me well into next year. So, and I'm going to do my best, like every step of the way, to kind of show how and what I'm doing. And if I can find any ways of helping to make it a little bit easier or whatever, yeah, I'm going to share that stuff with you guys as well. At least that's the plan. Yeah, I know, right? We should send her a message, see what she's doing. Oh, look at that. My subscriber thing updated. It went up to the 2,700. That's cool. So yeah, that was a new thing. We actually hit 2,700 subscribers over here on this channel, which is pretty exciting to me. I think that's kind of cool. Probably not that much, to be honest, especially if it's going off to a friend. So yeah, it has a whole rainbow of colors. I can't wait for you to see when like, because basically we're gonna bring like four of these rows up and then turn it and then bring those down to the end. So you'll get to see actually a whole lot more of this. But yeah, it's almost like a whole rainbow going all the way around it. It's super pretty. The colors are just amazing. Mind you, these are all the colors that were left over from other projects. So I have these totes that are filled with string, and um, Mandy went through the totes to see what there was that we could make, for an interesting bag, pulled out the 96 strings, and that's what we're working with. Wait, Rainbow's brain cell is firing? What's going on? A wall exception? Nice. Yeah, that's better that somebody has it. I'm personally right now, my sinuses suddenly have this pressure built up. It's like just above the cheekbones. That it's just pain. That's the only thing I can describe. It's just hurts. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Goodbye. All right. So essentially, the easiest way of doing this is by doing the two little rows together and then, taking advantage of one long row coming down. And then it's, back to the doing these two and so on and so on. So the four that we're bringing down um, basically is like two of where the loops began. Like that's how big those spaces were. And so we're going to try to bring that down and kind of see where that lands us. And if that brings us to the end, woohoo! And if that's the case, then it'll be just a case of trying to bring around additional rows until they get to where um, the right length is achieved to make the base. So anybody that's watching this who hasn't checked it out, I do have like playlists filled with things like easy patterns, intermediate patterns, difficult patterns, bags, um, all the past live streams, and some other stuff. I don't know. I think there's pattern making because I do a lot of pet that. I make my own patterns. I kind of always have. Hey, thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. Thank you. I think that's the first time we've had that notification pop up during the live streams. Like we've had this for a while now, the ability for that to happen, but that's the first time actually that came up. So very cool. Awesome.
2701.
Well, that's what it says there. I think, what does it say? I think it's got to be 6 or 7 now. 2706. Yeah, this thing shows the numbers of where you were the last time you did the stream. It's got something to do with the bot. The bot can't update to the latest and greatest unless it happens live, which I don't understand. So yeah. I wonder where Phil is. There's another person missing in action. Yeah,
He could be looking.
he could be. Yeah, we even have a playlist of the live streams that were all centered around my biggest project, which oddly, because of a lack of imagination, I only called it my big project. And that was 8,000 strings? No. What was it? It was a shitload. I forget how many strings. Oh, no. 866. 866 strings widers. That was what it was. Wow. We've been done with it for so long, I'm already forgetting the stats. That's just sad. The biggest thing I'll probably ever make in my entire life. And like, I'm already starting to forget about it. Well, I've done a lot since then, though, haven't I? 3 pillows, all kinds of stuff. The bot's been kind of funny here lately, hasn't it? Like last week when Phil told it to stand up for itself, and he's like, "Oh, that sounds like something Phil would say." Like just crazy. Yeah, it felt like 8,000. It did. It was the most. Uh, I've never done anything quite like that, and I probably never will. So welcome, Just String Things. It's nice to have you. Yeah, time zones, right? So yeah, good morning. It's all good. We get the idea that that's well, it's we know that it's morning for Dana over there. So yeah. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but since last week, I have put some work into trying to uh, get the camera to more accurately do the colors. So last week, um, it kind of seemed like the colors were like just a little too vibrant, a little too whatever, but it really does look a lot closer right now. It's not quite perfect. I think the lighting, I don't know. Uh, I can't tell why, but it's a lot closer. It's cool. So yeah, I when I say this is easy, I really do mean this one is like out of this different stuff that you can make. This really is a lot easier. Not like what I just recently saw. I was just did a search on a new browser, so it didn't have anything for YouTube to go off of. And I did a search to see friendship bracelets, and I saw advanced get to right, advanced friendship bracelets. It was a dovetail, which is one of these. Which again, it's just knots going left and right. This is like super easy stuff, guys. But they list it as advanced. So maybe what I think is advanced is very different than some of the other channels out there. But yeah, that kind of freaked me out. Like that was just weird. Like that just no. Hello, Rara. Oh, we're getting like the whole gang in here. This is awesome. The one color I think that really just doesn't seem to get it is this one, the one that there's the most of. It looks kind of more blue. It's kind of got like a, I don't know, kind of hard to tell. uh yeah, oddly enough, like I keep seeing this like all the time. Like I do watch a bunch of videos about like what does it take to help boost numbers and stuff in um, YouTube. And one of the things they always recommend is the engagement. If people will type, leave messages, hit the like button, do all that kind of stuff, it will convince Google that it's worth putting it out in front of other people. So I definitely ask for it. So if you, you know, can do the things, it would be awesome. It helps. Like everybody agrees on that one. Like that's the thing. Well, that and watching the videos all the way through. Like that's another one. Like um if you notice like I'll post a short and for a little while it'll get a whole bunch of hits. And then if people don't watch it all the way through, basically YouTube just stops putting it in front of more people. So, and yeah, I'm going to try making more shorts. So that's going to be fun. Lots of crazy stuff. Yeah, smash that like button like a boss. So that's like two rows down. Like I said, I think we're just going to do like four of them and take that to the end. I'm not because the other side is like it goes down quite a bit. This is you have to start at the highest point and work your way downwards. Like that's if you get into really complicated stuff, like just remember to start at the high point, work your way down. It'll all work out. So yeah. Save a Kevin. Yes, that was uh, The bot's been being good, so I don't think we have to whack a bot just yet. Hey, Helena made it as well. Hello. It is beautiful. It really is super awesome. And of course, we can thank Mandy for that. She was the one who picked the colors, so I'm not taking credit for that.
He wants to know what the what this is going to turn out
Oh, it's
to
going to be a
be.
bag. It's one of the small bags, the 96 string ones, where basically, um, I guess it would be true everywhere, but like around here, people, at work decide they're going to go out and to lunch, and there's all kinds of things around. They don't want to bring their whole handbag, so they just bring the just the essentials, their credit card, ID card, and a bit of cash. And it's just a little thing you can hang around your neck to just carry around the essentials. So, or some people like them for a medicine bag, which that's kind of more like the Native American thing where they put like pretty rocks and stuff in there. We should name what, the bag? Yeah, I'm not good at that. I never.
Or the
I
pattern?
Or the pattern. Yeah, we could name the pattern. Yeah, I'm not good at that either. Naming stuff is so complicated because like not unless it's really small. No. Um, phone bags are part of. Okay, so earlier I was talking about the fact that I made a bunch of patterns that are going to be for more complex bags. Um, those will be uh big enough for phones, like for sure. And but those ones are stupid crazy complicated. Like this one won't be expensive. Those might be a little bit. I mean, you know me. I have a bag. Wait, what is? Now I gotta look. Do. It's been so long since I've actually been into my own shops. I don't even know what these go for. Do. I'm gonna wait to hit the button because right now it's just a white screen waiting to load. Ah, here we go. So like this bag here is pretty big. That's 200. This bag is huge and it's 376. This one is that 513? How did the numbers get to weird, like why is it 205 and not just 200? I don't understand. Is this because it
What
was Singapore?
currency?
Oh, there's a button for it. Oh, because it's in USD. Okay. Right. Because if you put in Singapore, right. Okay. I get it. That makes more sense now. I kind of get it. I forgot we had that button, to be honest. It's funny. Sorry, it's behind the Mandy cam. You guys can't see what I'm hitting, but yep. But yeah, there's a few bags over there right now. So in USD, like these small bags, this one is uh my eyes aren't what they used to be. 38 for the smaller ones. And then, so that's about what this will probably be. The alternating diamond bag. Ooh. What did I think I just put down when I made the thing. It is a I I called it a stylish friendship bracelet bag because I had no idea what to call it. It's just Yeah, I never liked the idea of trying to name patterns and name because the color combinations or any of that stuff. I hate it. Oh my God, it's so painful. Yes, words are hard. Well, especially when, like for me, nuances can be all the difference in a pattern, right? Like you could just change a little bit of this and have something altogether different. But would it, if you maintain the diamonds, is it still the alternating diamond? If you like reduce the number of colors in half, because right now, we did the math on this last time. How many colors are in this thing? Do you remember?
64.
Is it really?
64 because that's the
Well,
base of
less,
65.
right. So yeah, if you reduce that in half, is it still the same thing? I don't know. And the crazy part is like my crazy ADHD brain keeps running into various patterns that make me go, wow, that would be really interesting to do as a bag. And it's like, no, I just got done doing a whole bunch um, of patterns and stuff, and then ordering the string and all that. So like, I do not need to come up with yet even more. So let's wait. Let's pull up the website again. So yeah, this is a phone bag, and then oh, these are both phone bags. And then this was making the template. So like, let's take a look at this one. I know the thumbnails are getting silly. Do 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 do. This is what the uh, the bag is going to look like. So it's got all kinds of crazy wavy lines, and I don't think the colors we I think the colors are different. I don't remember what they are now. But yeah, that's it's that kind of stuff is going to be coming out. Yeah. Cuz you get it's like you get bit with this whole excitement like, "Oh, I'm getting so much dopamine off this pattern and this is so awesome. I should do this even more so. I should make it bigger. I should make it whatever." And there's like an endless amounts of just that. So yeah. And it's funny because for the most part, tying knots is sort of relaxing, except for when it becomes super exciting. And then it stops being relaxing and turns into this. I don't even know how to. It just gets. Uh, I have a thing about finishing stuff before I move on to new projects. And I had to do that because well, when I first started out, I was crazy poor. I was like selling plasma, like from your blood to get money. And I was using that to get cigarettes and floss. And the floss would turn into bracelets, which I'd sell. And yeah, it was just a whole cycle of, you know, the two fixes I needed. I needed string and nicotine. Thankfully, I've quit the nicotine one. So yeah, still have the string habit. The string habit's bad. Yeah, I have. Oh man, I have somewhere a folder full of images that were like inspiration. And back then, I didn't have a really good means to actually get the pictures out of wherever, like whether it was well, it probably wasn't websites. To be honest, it was probably Instagram. Um, so a lot of them are fairly low res or whatever, but at some point there's going to be a bunch of made from photos type things happening, which that's always kind of fun too, because honestly, it's a skill. If you can make your pattern off of a photo, you can pretty much make anything you want, you know? So that's always nice. Finish my last present. Oh, yay. That's good. That's totally awesome. Ooh, 8 times. Wow. Nice, nice choice of words there, Rainbow. That's good. You would have snapped. I see where you went with that. That's good. Hey, I'm taking away the Mandy cam for a second. Well, I have Mandy. Could you please bring me a Pepsi? I forgot to grab one before the stream started, and I really need a Pepsi. And suddenly I feel like the guy from Suicidal Tendencies. Just one Pepsi. Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, that was a long video, wasn't it? Like those patterns really took so much work. It was brutal. Yay. Let me know when you get back.
Think back.
Okay. Ta-da. Yeah, those big ethnic pattern ones, those took some time. And was it the first or the second phone bag where the pattern didn't go like I planned and I had to think up a bunch of stuff. That was that was the whole proof of like why working out the patterns in advance is such a big thing for me, because sometimes what totally seems like it can work just doesn't. And um I had talked about it like so many times, and like so many times the patterns just work themselves out. And to have that actually happen while recording, while my brain was actively trying to come up with solutions, because there was a brief moment, I don't know if it got like really came across in the video, but there was a brief moment where I was like almost in a panic that the whole entire thing would be scrapped. And um the whole like having to rethink it all out or whatever. I just, oh man, there was almost a complete mental breakdown for a moment. And then um working it out suddenly kind of became clearer, and I was like, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, there was I almost didn't do the video of me actually filling the stuff in. I don't know, like in my head I was just like, this is just going to take forever. Is anybody even going to want to witness that? Like that's just, it was just crazy. But then at the same time I realized like this is the kind of stuff that really can teach something. And then it was like, wow. Yeah. 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 And it definitely made the whole thing feel a lot more like justifiable. Like now, you know, I will definitely, no matter what, kind of go through and fill in the stuff unless it's really easy and we can see that like that the end is already figured out or something. But because that kind of stuff can happen too. And I have to admit, I'm kind of torn. Like part of me, looks at the bracelet making videos, like what's out there, and there is so much dedicated to the really simple stuff, the stuff that like, you know, you're going to have a 5-year-old make. Um and I don't feel like that's where I really want to go with it. I mean, I totally could. I know how to do all those things. Um but I feel like there's already a ton of videos on that kind of stuff. Um, so I kind of want to kind of keep it with things that are a little bit more complicated, or things where, people who are feeling a little bit more adventurous can get into and enjoy and try making, and inspire you guys to try new things. So I think I think that's the avenue I want to stay on. I just don't know how to get to where like I show up in the searches, because right now um I'm nowhere near the top, and if you're unless you're at the top, nobody really finds you. So I don't know how to fix that part yet. Mind you, if I had the number of YouTube followers that I have over on Instagram, we would be monetized, and things would be all kinds of different, because there's what, like 10,700 or something like that. And I keep trying to get those people to come over and check out the videos, but that's just a whole different crowd. They just like seeing pretty pictures. And so I'm trying really hard not to sing along. I've got the song Low playing in my ear here, and it's a great song. Hey, 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 like being. So I'm almost done with the fourth row, and then I'll pull this thing off the board for a moment to kind of spin it around, give you guys a look to see where we are. So this is actually kind of moving along pretty kind of quickly. Oh, wait, what time is it? Yeah, it is. I suddenly realized I might be speaking too soon. That happens sometimes. Like I will get really into something and it feels like, oh, this has gone so quickly. And then I look at the clock and it's been like 5 hours. Like, wait, no, maybe that wasn't as fast as I thought. Oops. Kind of like what happened last night. So partly why I'm so tired. One minute it was, like midnight ish. Like, yeah, I just, see what other things are going on in the world and check out this and that. And then I need to remember who sang a song. So I have to go look that up. And next thing I know, it was, what was it? Like 3:30 in the morning? Like, why? Oh, and I have a lot less things to talk about this week because I never took a day out. I was going to on Wednesday, and then I got up and somehow got inspired by something and was suddenly like, oh, I will do a thing. Da, 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 da. And then um, I just started working well into the afternoon, and it was just like, okay, so that's I'll just go out on Friday instead. And then Thursday, Mandy starts talking with like in a group chat on WhatsApp with a friend about whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, is that today? And I'm like, wait, is it serious? So I go look at the calendar. Oh no, it's for Friday. So I'm like, oh man. So this is like 2 weeks in a row where I have been so focused on work that I've forgotten to take time for myself. Go figure. But that's super ADHD, right? Like that where you just get, I don't know. I think I mentioned something on threads where it feels like I'm just addicted to work. So everybody's super quiet. It's not my fault. I can't think of things to talk about. Yeah, I swear, I it's only people with ADHD will understand the whole like bargaining with yourself over I'll go pee after I finish this. Like it's such a weird thing. Like that's I've I have missed meals. I've done all kinds of stupid things because that focus. Is this lump out of my head? I think so. I don't know why. There's certain songs that just they really get me. All right. Three more knots. We can turn this thing around and see what it looks like. So now at this point, for anybody who's kind of new to this whole making a cylinder thing, we will have two high points, right? We'll have the high point here. We have a high point over here. Doesn't matter which one we work from, but you obviously you have to start at the high points and work your way down. So, do, 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 do. All right. So this is the furthest point down. So we're going to try to bring this down here and see if that brings us to being long enough to actually be the bag, which I really think it will. So yes. Hello. Forget to turn it on. Yeah. You don't forget to eat. Yeah, you underestimate the power of my ADHD. You have no idea. Yeah. I had a teacher once tried to give me a hard time because I spent so much of my time just sort of daydreaming. Like I didn't need any kind of distractions. Everything was a distraction. Like, what do you do at home? I was like telling him stuff. Like, at the time, I think it was hyper focused on a slot car set that I owned. Like, maybe we should just bring that into school and you could do that because you're not doing any actual work. Like, really? He's like, no, of course not. What do you think? It's like, oh man, I'd much rather play with cars than listen to you. Yeah, I had all kinds of difficulty in school, and a lot of my teachers, um, well, I was adopted, and my teachers had had my sisters, and my sisters didn't have ADHD, and they were, well performing, well adjusted young ladies, and everything that I wasn't essentially. And so I was often compared to them. Plus, I had a fairly decent vocabulary. I could speak well. I couldn't spell anything that I said. I probably still have a lot of that. Um, but I sounded smart, and so they kept thinking like, you're just not trying. You're not making any effort. If you made the effort, you could totally do fantastic in school. And what they didn't know was I was making all kinds of effort and trying really hard to blend in and not, draw attention to myself. And nothing worked, man. Nothing was working. I never understood how everybody else had nice notes. My notes were just like blurps all over the paper, some going up and down, left, right. Like it was just, there was no sign of organization or anything. And I could never figure out how everybody else knew how to do things. Heck, I remember walking home from school, and it was a few miles, um, because I didn't know how everybody else knew which was their bus to go home on. And it was just, rather than looking stupid and trying to ask somebody and show the fact that I really was completely clueless, I found it easier to just walk, rely on myself, and yeah. Oh, I just realized this starts to go out of frame, and I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, I can fix this. I was like, I'm not sure I know how to move this around right. And let me finish this row first. It's like I'm slowly going out of frame. It kind of tucks around the corner just a little bit. There we go. All right. I haven't had to do that in a while. Cool. So yeah, basically I just shifted the whole board up on the easel, which, mind you, guys, if you make a lot of bracelets, just invest in a nice easel. This board here is like $2.50 or something. It's a watercolor board. I don't know what the right title is. It's a board made to be able to do watercolor paintings on. It feels like a really dense cardboard, and it's got like a little bit of a textury finish to it. I didn't need the texture thing. That's just whatever. But you can just use like these kind of clips to hold it to the easel, and then everything stays right where you want it. And this makes it so much easier for your posture. It's absolutely like night and day difference. Canvas? Yeah, I guess it's a canvas. When I think of canvas, though, I think of like where it's like the fabric that is put across the wooden frame. Like those, that makes sense. Like that's when I would totally use that word. But this is sort of, hang on. I just remember I have another one of these things. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a, check it out. Rainbow with that big brain over there. It's a canvas panel. So yeah. Fine art materials. Well, this one's for oil and acrylic. I think the other one I bought was the watercolor one. But yeah, I have another board so that way in case I have to take pictures for the shop. So yeah. Yeah, it will definitely help with the shoulder pain. If you're typically that is from um, working a little bit higher so that your arms are coming up a little bit more, and that'll get you in the shoulders for sure. You want to be down just a little bit further than that. So yeah, the easel will allow you to dial it in to that perfect point to where you will suddenly be like, oh, look, the whole bracelet's done. I did that all in one sitting, and whoa, where'd the time go? Hey, how awesome is this? Like it's such a difference. I can't even, it's awesome when that happens. You suddenly realize that dialed it in stops all the pains, makes it so much easier. It's when I was young, when I was like really young and doing this stuff, I could sit in the dumbest positions and it just and do it for hours and it didn't matter. I could sit Indian style on the lawn at a concert making bracelets and get up and feel fine. I am not that young anymore. And yeah, I'm looking for ways to make it easier on myself. And yeah, absolutely. So Isabella made it. Wow, we're having it like all kinds of people dropping in on us today. This is awesome. Thanks, guys. We haven't seen what's the girl from the Philippines? I haven't seen her in a
Charity?
yeah, I haven't seen Charity in a while. Yeah, I'm terrible at memorizing names. Like sometimes, like if your guys' icons stay the same, like that helps me to recognize it, or sometimes like just the whole name together or whatever, kind of like if you changed a little bit of it, I would suddenly be lost. That's why I don't change around like the thing on my Instagram or whatever. Like it's just people who gotten used to seeing that icon that one's me. That's it's just easy. It's a fun picture. Let's just stick with it. So the funny thing is, I've been like so having fun, talking and telling you guys all these stories and stuff. I'm actually surprised that I haven't made any mistakes. I think that really just comes down to the fact that this pattern is really nice. Like it's just a great pattern. Um, so yeah, should probably like knock on wood. I don't know if any of this stuff is real wood around me at all. Wow. Since you were 12, that's awesome. I don't want, oh man, my brain just snapped with the thought of like, gee, when did I first get my first email? I'll just say that I was older than 12. Yeah, that's the one thing. Like people like get surprised when I say like I've been making bracelets since before there was internet. Like we didn't have the ability to look up patterns. We had to work it out on our own. I was using Xerox machines to do my graph paper and using color pencils to work out the designs. So yeah. Well, good morning. We seem to have a bunch of people over on the just woke up side of the world. We're not old, rah rah. We're not old. We're just experienced. Ouch. Ouch. Ow. Oh, oh man. I have somehow snagged my nail on something. Hang on. I just have this like little something right there that keeps catching the string funny. And then my thumb reaches over to like touches it and like, nope, that's bad. And if I don't do something about it, um, basically I will have a meltdown. So yeah, done. Yeah, I don't remember when friendship bracelet books first started coming out. I'm gonna guess that was probably the 90s. Ooh. Now I want muffins. Great. I hope you brought enough for everybody. Mm. I love how the bot, every time you say certain words, it like, oh, hello, like, you say email and it suddenly just pops up with my email. Or if you put in, I don't know, if you put in Reddit, it'll probably do a Reddit thing. Or if you put in, Instagram, it'll do a thing. It's just funny. Yeah, that's understandable. Thank you. Nice. Well done. Thank you. Put that bot to work. Yeah, we just found out that our friend Minute Craft can sing. So I'm sure she would be a lot of fun at like a karaoke thing. Me, not so much. I've got the more of the voice of like the DJ and not the singer. So I can't imagine not liking any chocolates. Like that's weird. Um, so I've never hit the thing for it. You'll have to ask everybody else how to. Oh yeah, there it is. It's how did it not do a thing for Mandy? Is it have does it have to be the first thing in the sentence?
No, there has to be a question, I think.
Really?
Hmm.
So I'm already like eyeing the future and imagining that we are coming closer and closer to the Halloween season and all those good candies. And then that, of course, is followed by the Christmas and the Quality Street season, which, yeah, man, I love me some Quality Street. The hate ball doesn't want to answer if it likes chocolate. That's is that where the food transfers go? But then how do I keep getting the calories?
Not my fault.
Yeah, it does sound kind of awesome. I remember one time it was like the fog was really dense and I tried to catch it, missed. Always there's like the um the lag between when I say things and when everybody else gets to hear the things. And like I don't know if I like should continue talking and not wait to see whether or not there's the moans and the groans and the whole response to the main decams, and never know what to do after that. It snowed in July. Holy smokes. I didn't know it could do that. Yeah, I used to like hoodie weather and like being just cool enough that like, sweaters and yeah. But now I live in the tropics, so it's tank tops and shorts pretty much all year. Yeah, you do. Dana is like seriously a stone's throw away from the Canadian. We always used to say that that area that Dana is in was God's country. There's just beautiful, beautiful areas. I don't know if anybody, so if anybody that's curious, just look up Tequamanon Falls. And if it doesn't seem awesome, then add in the word autumn, because in the autumn is when the water particularly turns to like this sort of almost like beer. It almost looks like beer coming over the waterfalls. It's super pretty. It's awesome. I used to love going up there when the leaves were changing. Yeah, shorts and tank tops are awesome, but you have to have the right weather for it. So yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that you got something to eat. We don't need hangry people. So yeah, I definitely think that lengthwise we're just about there. Like this is going to do it. So I don't know how much longer this actually thing will take. I don't think we'll finish it tonight though. Yeah, there are times where it's root beer. So yeah, that has to do with like there's just a lot of pine trees, and the pine trees give off a lot of tannins, and that's why the water is colored. It's not like polluted water. It's actually great for the fish. Um, it just makes it kind of different, and it's the biggest waterfall west of Niagara. I think that's accurate. There's something about like it being one of the larger waterfalls, but it's like it just doesn't compare to Niagara. Niagara Falls is huge, but it's super pretty. There was a bunch of places up that area we used to go visiting and stuff. I think my dad just liked to drive around, so he'd go up there and check out all the cool stuff. If I Does my memory serve me right? Was there like a mini haha falls? I don't know if that's a different part of Michigan or where that was, but I remember that. I remember being about 10 or 11 years old and having um it was like a fuzzy felt hat with like a raccoon tail off the back of it. I actually have to look and see if I have a photo of that, me in that hat. It seems like it's a possibility. If I do, I will bring it to the live stream next week. Yeah, Niagara is really amazing. Niagara Falls is stunning. It's There's something about it that you won't ever get from the photos or the videos, and that is the amount of water that's going over the falls is so much that there's a thunderously low, deep roar that happens that you feel throughout your whole body that just there's nothing else that will prepare you for it. When you get there, you suddenly realize like, wow, this is something. Like it's incredibly, yeah, there's nothing quite like it. And I've only been one time to the American side of the falls, which you really can't see a whole lot. Like on the American side, it's right happening around you. You need to be on the Canadian side. If you ever go to Niagara Falls, you need to be on the Canadian side. That's where the best viewing thing is from. That's where all the nice touristy hangout things all are. Um, it's so Yeah, it's where to be. That reminds me of the memory I posted on Facebook, honey. Nom nom nom. So anybody who doesn't follow me on Facebook, I had posted few years ago, well, several years ago. It was nom 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 nom, and that is the Jaws themes from the shark's perspective. Oh, right on. My watch just thinks I hit my steps for the day. Nice. Actually, on the American side of the Niagara Falls, I always thought that all because they have casinos there, right? I always thought all of the dealers for like blackjack or whatever from like Las Vegas and the casinos along the East Coast and stuff should all come to that area and have a competition to see who is the best dealer. And just I don't know how they do it. I don't know the rules or whatever, but I think it would be a lot of fun because it would be the shuffle off in Buffalo. And yes, I've like that joke has stuck with me for years. And I don't I saw like when we were over there, it was Buffalo, and I was just like, I don't know. It just hit me. Especially when I saw they had casinos. I'm like, oh, there you go. Yeah, a lot of my humor probably lands really, really well with the small children. Mandy tried to tell me about a library here in Singapore. She said it had 4 stories. I assured her there was clearly going to be a lot more than that. Of course, will the kids actually get the joke about Jaws? I mean, do I I was traumatized. I was pretty young when I first saw that. And I mean, it wasn't as bad as some people. Some people were like they couldn't go near any kind of water. They couldn't go swimming pools and stuff. So yeah, I wasn't that bad, but I definitely like kind of eyed the oceans just a little bit differently. Yeah. Looking back, it still hits pretty hard. Like I actually just watched it probably within the last year, and I thought that it was going to be like some of the other movies of the time where it just didn't age well. Nope, it's still really scary. Yeah. Like I said, some people got really truly traumatized by it. Like it really did them in. It was probably one of the scariest movies of its time. I don't know. There was a lot of like when they weren't really showing the shark, they were just kind of implying its presence. And like, you know, you'd see a person swimming along and then suddenly like yank. Like yoink, and they disappear. Like that kind of stuff, man. That was powerful imagery. Yeah. Yeah, and the music didn't help. Like the music definitely would just get you like, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was worse than actually seeing the shark. Oh, Dana, you were asking like how big this bag is. I think you actually got one of the bags of a similar size. I don't remember what colors. I know you got the change one, the purple one, but there was something else that you had gotten that was sort of this size. So yeah, I don't remember what the colors were now. I've made a lot of stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, kids can't appreciate the fact that we had to wait for a particular day of the week, Saturday morning, and a couple hours on Sunday were the only times that we could have cartoons. And so we had to savor them no matter what they were. Even if some of those cartoons were like from the 50s and they were weird and didn't make a whole lot of sense, it was the closest thing we had to children's programming. They'll just never understand. Like when I came home from school, like the shows were like Gilligan's Island and I think it was like Ultraman. We didn't have like Cartoon Networks and stuff. So some of these strings are getting really, really short. So we need to be kind of getting to the end of this soon. Goodness. Holy cow. Honestly, I would just check my watch because I was thinking, you know, maybe at 11 o'clock, I would just take a quick break and go use the toilet. It's 11:40, guys. I don't know how that much time got behind me. I'm suddenly like really shocked. Ooh. Ooh. If ooh. Yeah. And sadly, they'll never know like the joy of like some of the cartoons that we had because like we had Speed Racer, we had I remember Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch and what was oh HR Puff and Stuff in Lidsville and all of those ones. That was all the Croft ones. Croft had some of the best television. Sydney Sydney the Sea Monster. I don't remember what the actual show was called, but I remember Sydney. Ah, yeah. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I am back. Sorry about that, guys. Tom and Jerry. Ah, I love me some Tom and Jerry. Like those are like the real good classics. Those are the ones that had like lasted for so many years. The Flintstones. Okay, who can name who the Flintstones were based on? Kind of feel really nerdy for knowing this one. Oh man. See, as I was growing up, I kept watching the cartoons. I don't know why. I mean, I would probably still watch cartoons now if we had like Adult Swim or something. Well,
You do.
I do. I mean, okay, so if I have time, I do like the anime like Bleach. I started watching that one because in America they would play them out of
Every
order.
time we go away and rent a hotel with cable TV,
Oh, that's true.
what do we
Yeah.
watch?
Yeah, that's true.
Cartoon Network.
Okay, so the no, the okay, so the Flintstones was based on the Honeymooners, where there was the two couples that lived right next to each other, were basically neighbors or whatever. Yeah, Flintstones was based on, so a lot of the chemistry between the two guys, and then the Jetsons was like, the okay, let's go to the other end of the spectrum instead of going to the past, going into the future. Animaniacs were the best. I heard that there was a new Animaniacs, and that like when they came back with it, like part of their whole gag was about it being like a money grab, and that was just absolutely brilliant. I think that's amazing. But yeah, I do watch We Bare Bears. I like We Bare Bears. I don't like the baby We Bare Bears as much, but I'll still watch them. And I also like the adventures, something about Gumball. I think those are hilarious and definitely like holy cow, like those are really messed up. But I love how it's a mix of like photographs and cartoon over top of it. What is it called? Something The Adventures of Gumball? I don't know. I want to say there's those two words, adventures and Gumball in the thing, but I don't know. Invader Zim. Rick and Morty. Yes. Heck yes. Those are great. Yeah, I don't know the Invader Zim. I don't know that one. The Amazing World of Gumball. There we go. Yeah, that's a really crazy show. We were at a hotel not that long ago, and there was a huge SpongeBob marathon. And yeah, I pretty much left that on the whole time we were there. That was like the best. That was awesome. Final Space, absolutely. So much, in fact, that I have the Kevin KVN tattooed on my leg, and Mandy has Mooncake on her leg. So yeah, with the aliens, I don't wait. Which same dude? Yeah, Futurama is amazing, Dana. That's hell yeah. I heard that Futurama was coming back as well. That was another one that somebody said was getting a reboot, which I don't know if there's any truth in that, but if there is, like, holy cow. The Rick and Morty one where that's, yeah. Didn't one of the creators of Rick and Morty just get into like crazy amounts of trouble? Um, I don't know like what he did, but basically he's probably not going to be working in the industry anymore. Like he really blew it. And like he was like most of the voices or something. Which is it's so such a bummer, you know. You kind of want people who are making great content to be decent people and doing not screwing it all up. Just was it? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't think of his name, so I can't like suggest what to look up. I can picture what he looks like in my mind, and I just know that um, when I remember seeing the thing, being like, "Well, that's the end of that guy," you know. Wonder what will happen to the show, and you know, will they get somebody else to do the voices and stuff? But now they got AI to do voices, so I guess you can do something with that. I guess I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard this. This. I shared this with Mandy here recently. Um, this spoofing voice thing. People are using the tech to have phone calls calling up where it sounds like your kid, and the kid is like, I'm in super big trouble. I need some money. Give me your credit card. I'll explain it all later, kind of thing. And like, and it just sounds like it's your kid. Like people, it's like such a weird scam. Yeah. No, I think something else came up since then. Like he was back in the news since then. Like yes, there was something really terrible back then, and then that's almost seemed to have passed, and then something new just came in, and it was just like, oh, nope. Yeah, I don't have control over that one. That one is the bot's got a timer, and I'm obviously no good at keeping track of time. I thought we were only an hour into the video, so yeah. It's weird because like I spend an awful lot of time here in the office creating the videos, editing them, doing the thumbnails, doing all the various things. And um most of the time I have no idea where the time went. None. I just know that from early in the day until late at night, I am working on things. And it's never like I'm never organized enough that like Monday is do this and Tuesdays do that. Nope. It's always a scramble of, oh, I need descriptions for these 5 videos that are already been created and that they're coming up really, really soon. and I got to figure all that out. And oh, wait, they all need web pages. And like everything is always like putting out fires. And well, except for like the excitement of like, oh, I see a pattern and I want to do something with it. And I create like that, those days, that's a little bit different. Those are like fun, excited, lose myself in trying a pattern or doing like like when I did the blindside creations and stuff, like going into that was just like the anxiety of wondering whether or not I've been hit with a pattern that's super difficult, and then working with it, trying to figure it out. And like those are kind of fun. Speaking of, you guys should submit some more pattern numbers for the blindside creations. Like don't do giant string ones, but like just give me the pattern number, the website it came from, and the number of strings, so that way I can at least have the template things ready when I start the video, because otherwise it just adds a bunch of time, which is a little bit silly. And yeah, because I don't know if you guys see it, like whoever sends it in and stuff, like I give them shout outs. So like if you want your like Instagram to have people notice you or whatever, I totally shout them out. And I'm pretty sure, I want to say like I always put, I'm not sure if I 100% always put the link in to their thing in the description area of the YouTube. I think I've done it to everybody except for the girl who had the private account, because there was just that one where um I kind of felt like maybe I shouldn't put a link to it, because I mean, if you have a private account, you really aren't asking for just randoms to come and follow you, right? So yeah. But everybody else, I think, all has links. Pretty sure. Mostly sure. ADHD is bad. I think I do the things. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you were you the one that in my Instagram that made the comment about the rejected one, right? Yeah. Yeah. See, I uh let's do I how can I get to trying to think where to show you the picture of the pattern that I tried to put in eons ago, and it rejected it, and I don't know why they rejected it. And this was long before I think anybody it wasn't like because somebody else already had it. It was something about the numbers or something. It's like it's the one pattern I would say is my signature pattern. Hang on, I'm scrolling through Instagram, which is struggling. Do, 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 do. Well, this is the way complicated version of it, but this is the pattern. I was doing the a smaller rendition of it. Um, this one, the one I actually have tattooed. Yes, I forgot I could just turn my arm in and show you that pattern. Um, and it shot me down, and um, yeah, I was just like, forget it. I don't need to be. It's kind of like insta famous, right? When you try to like send in patterns to these things, you know, like there's a certain like, ooh, look at this person did a lot. Over the years, I'm sure I could have like been dominant at it, but nah, yeah. Yeah, I don't understand bracelet book. Um, Especially since I don't know if the videos come out yet. There's a blindside creation here that I recently did. I guess I can take a look at my own thing. Let's find out. Did this come out? Yes, I think it did. Oh wait, no. No, it comes out next week. So there was one that comes out next week where the person sent it in and sent in the pattern with two different numbers. So I was really confused by that, and I pulled up both of them, and then I went and made the pattern, and somewhere in the pattern making was like, well, this is really super complicated. I'm really surprised that this is a thing, only to discover that the both of the versions that were submitted were where essentially every string just goes back and forth. Every single one of them just zigzags, right? Which makes it super complicated, but it allows you to have either the knot be either one of two colors, right? Which is that's sort of cool that you can do that, but it's like it's a hard way of getting it done. And I created a pattern where there's very few right left knots or left right knots in it. There are some, but not a lot of them. And when I got done putting together my version and actually making the bracelet, I realized that my version has got to be so much faster because you have long straight rows and you have blocks and stuff, and you're able to do a lot of like the segment of knotting and stuff. So yeah, it was absolutely like a night and day difference between the two things. So yeah, go figure. Take care, Dana. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't understand. And I don't understand why everybody's so hooked on the bracelet book. Like honestly, when I go looking for patterns and stuff, friendshipbracelets.net is so much easier that you can just right click and save the GIF file, and yeah, that's to me like their whole setup is so much easier. I don't know why everybody seems to like the other one. I don't get it. Oh, that's weird too. It does. It does have kumis. I don't know if you guys saw, I did a video short earlier where Mandy had put together this really, really pretty kumi. And I think that's going to become a new thing that we do where we share how the strings were set up and then what the kumi ended up looking like. Because obviously, I mean, I don't know if you've seen like how many stacks of bracelets and stuff I have, but they all have the kumi loop. And some of these things are absolutely outstanding. And yeah, I kind of want to start to share those now. So that's going to be a new side project on top of all the other weird things that I'm constantly doing. I don't know. I don't know why I keep trying to make more work for myself. It's weird. Yeah, can you imagine if you were saving all of the patterns that you've ever done? You would be like the queen of the kumis on that site. Like it would just be everything would be from you. Yeah. So um that's another thing that we have to do is to do more of like the the 18 strings and that stuff. I don't know if you guys um did we do a short for that 18 string one? Oh
Mm-hmm.
wait, no, that comes out. That's in the video that comes out next week. So yeah, there's an 18 string bracelet in it, and Mandy came up with a whole new way of putting the strings onto the Kumi disc, and it came out really super cool. And I don't, I don't know if I still have the photos and stuff for it, I might actually try to do a video short to show that one off because that was really cool. Yeah, I don't understand those. Well, the whole fact that they make it really hard to actually save the the pattern so that way you can like view it when you're offline or whatever, um, all that kind of stuff, which is why, of course, I always show like whenever I do a video like the blindside creations and somebody sends me a pattern from them, I show exactly how you can copy and paste out of their website because it's like they went to so much length to try to stop it. And I'm like, oh, well, then you just do this. Yeah, one of the videos that I need to schedule time for and to work out how to do it is going to be about how um like over on my website there is a whole bunch of graph paper available of different sizes already. But that's only going to work for you like how wide it is when you have to the next thing is to figure out how long you want your bracelet to be, and you can do that based off of ones that you've already made. So I want to do a video where I show you what all the different tools are that I'm using inside of GIMP and try to make it just as simplified as possible. Um, and this is like one of these things where it just came up today, and I really need to figure out like all the different stuff that I use and do and how to um, because most of the time when I'm like clicking on the things, it's really little, and I don't know how if I have enough resolution to be able to like kind of zoom in on that area every time I'm clicking on stuff, or how to make that actually even happen. Um, yeah, it's going to be super complicated, so it's probably weeks and weeks away before I finally do the video. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, it is coming. It is like I have like a lot of like ambitious projects planned that I just have to find time and find ways of doing it that sort of make sense. Because yeah, it's I don't have a super great computer. Like my computer won't even allow me to upgrade to Windows 11. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's like nope, can't have. So. Yeah, that sounds a bit like stuff I do. I kind of gotten to the point where I can do most of the stuff on the computer, but like when it comes to those ethnic bags that I'm doing, I'm probably going to open them up in GIMP, and then I'm going to use the pencil tool and kind of check off areas as I finish them because um, some of those get stupid complicated. Like I really did myself in on some of these patterns. Now, whatever, they're going to be amazing to look at. Wow. Were you tagging it? Moderators suck. Moderators can go and like, I don't know. Oh, did you ever find which of the live streams that you won the bracelets, the secret word game in? I'm I was thinking about trying. I don't know if you guys saw. I did a short where I was thanking everybody for the comments, and I actually recorded an entire live stream from the beginning to the end, and then sped it up, and then sped it up again, because it's kind of slow. It stops a lot. So by like taking 3 hours of chat, I managed to squish it down into 58 seconds, which was pretty cool. I thought that was neat. Didn't get a whole lot of views, but I was still kind of pleased with myself for being able to make it, except for the fact that it tied up my computer. I couldn't I couldn't do anything else because I wasn't smart enough to like open up things like GIMP beforehand. And if I did, because it was recording my screen, when GIMP opened up, it would have blocked off the words and stuff. So I like had to seriously sit and wait. I was playing it at double speed, so that meant the whole thing took like an hour and a half, which is obviously a lot faster than waiting 3 hours. But still, an hour and a half of not using my computer was like tormenting me. With the fire of a thousand suns. I love it. Oh, I don't have a lot of love for alphas. I've done an alpha before. It's actually, is my shop still open? It is. Yes, there's so much you can do with it, but that feels like it's cheating. So yeah, this is, whoops, wrong button. This one. This is a the alpha that I made. Wait, oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. So there's the base. But yeah, this is my alpha bag. Oh my God. That's that took a while. Wow. It's funny when like a topic like this comes up and I'm saying like, oh yeah, I did it. I did that thing. But yeah, I typically don't like the alphas. Oh, another example of a normal that's like an alpha. Check it out. It's the Space Invader guys. And they're in the like the two positions. They're like wah 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 wah. You know, right? Yeah. Yeah, there is something. There is something nice about like the rate like these kind of patterns that are just mm. It is. It's a dopamine thing. It's got to be. It's that oh, can I make it look like chain links? And then you do, and it hits, and then it's like, heck yeah, I did it. Thank you. Thank you. I did another one where it's got the word AWOL in it. It hangs off of one of my bags. I don't know where that is. Probably in here somewhere. Um, that I used different colors where like this is just done in two colors. The other one is done where the colors coming this way or this way were different, which that turned out kind of neat. I I don't know if I've ever. I think I messed around with the alpha a little bit. I tried a much bigger bag, but then I got really bored of it, gave that away. Um, but there's just something. It's just not as satisfying. It doesn't have the. I think I know what it is. As we've done this, right? As I've gotten down a row or a segment or whatever, each time I complete an area, there's a little bit of like dopamine just breaks off and my brain goes, yay. And with an alpha, you're just kind of, you complete a row, but it doesn't feel like completing a segment. And so the only dopamine you get is when you finish the whole project as opposed to getting a segment done. And so with a normal pattern, there's a whole lot more times where it feels like an accomplishment. And I think that really is like the big difference for people with ADHD is we are chasing the dopamine. We're trying to get our brain to give us that happy feeling again, and it just comes more frequently with a normal. I think that's what it is. I mean, you know, I don't have a degree in the mental stuffs, good words, things. Sounded really smart for a minute there, and it just all fell away. Ah, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, the blue, I like how you call it the blue tube. Like that's a good word for it. The the alternative side to that sort of not exactly going to get me canceled, but I'm not going to win a lot of brownie points with the parental units with it. Right. I have seen the crochet versions. I think that's kind of neat. Doing like 8-bit characters and stuff in crocheted blankets. Wow. This string is super short. This is like bringing me down to the furthest corner. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is as long as it is. It's so short. You could, um, well, see, yeah, 3D patterns don't work out on paper very well. I was gonna say you can always send the patterns to me and I'll put them up on my webpage and everybody can see them. But it's the 3D ones, right? So how to make those where anybody could actually use that? Like I don't if you have ideas on how to make a 3D pattern, yeah, I'll help you to spread them to the world. 3, 6, 6. So like this area right here and 3, 6, 3, 6. Yeah, and this part right here, like this whole group will be one of the pieces that folds in and makes the base. Well, like this, right? Because it started with a cylinder. It no longer once you become a cylinder, you're not really using flat graph paper any longer, right? I mean, there might be somebody who's smart that can create a graph paper that continues around and based on the like how many strings are in it. But that's I don't have the software for it, nor do I have like the programming knowledge to even know like how to do something with that. Like when I did the pattern for this bag, right? I basically just gave a segment of it and explained that it continues on all the way around. And that's kind of okay with this because the pattern stays doing the same thing. But when you get into these, there was so much more going on. Um, and to be honest, I don't even remember how I worked that out. It was one of those things where in a ADHD, super focused, whatever, suddenly like managed to do amazing things. So since I know these are all one group, I'm gonna just put them in a loose little thing. I'll show you what I did. I just did that with those strings, so that way I kind of don't have to keep counting and figuring that out. So now we have one low point and one very high point, and the object will be to bring down another block like we just did and bring that down to here, and that will form out the next block on this side, and then it'll leave us one more to fill out the other part. A 3D frog? Like, this is funny because we were just talking about this yesterday. When I was in high school, um, we were going to do the whole dissecting a frog thing. And so we had the biology book with the whole like what we'll find when we open it up. And I made an origami frog, and I, got it all folded. I opened up because like there's a split in the part of the back, and I drew in all the stuff, and then I went and showed it to my biology teacher. And at first he was kind of like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, because I acted like I was cutting it. And then I opened it up and he saw the whole insides. He asked if he could keep it. Like, heck yeah. I was like super honored that he would even want it. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. But yeah. Yeah, I see. I don't understand. Like, the creators are your business. Like, they are what makes it a thing. For moderators to be like that, this doesn't make sense. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't understand that. But I imagine a lot of the moderators on some of those sites probably deal with some of the worst elements, and they have probably created lines in their mind of what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And who knows what is going through their heads. It's hard to say. And everybody, some people have bad days and just deal with things weird. So who knows? Yeah, I hope the frog was kept for years too. I think I think about some of these things. I did an art piece once where it was like 3D looking. If you picture like a 1 inch by 1 inch piece of wood, and then it would just go to the side and then up and then over, and it then got kind of Celtic-y, and it kind of looked like steps, and it was retardedly complicated. And I had spent like every class I went to, I worked on it in art class, I worked on it in English class, I worked on it in math class. I worked on this thing a lot, and I submitted it for an art contest, and somehow I won. I don't think I got first place or anything, but I was in like the top 3 or whatever it was. Whatever it was, I won enough that it went to a congressman's office and didn't ever come home with me. And I did not realize that that was part of the prize, because I would never have given it to them. It was it was awesome. It was really really neat, and it went away, and I didn't get it back, and I was really upset about that. Yeah, I used to be really creative in school. I had a math teacher who we were playing around with doing the string art kind of thing where you start, let's see, if you start in like this is graph paper, and you go from this point to this point and then this one to this one, and you keep shifting, it makes that cool like bendy thing. I understood it pretty much immediately on, and was making stars and stuff out of it, while other people were still struggling with trying to get the concept of how it worked. And she told me that she expected to someday in the future go into a craft store and find things like projects or stuff with my name on it. I was just like, wow. So if she could see akaawol.com, she would be like, there you go. Yeah, see, I never got to find out like which congressman even got it. To be honest, I have no idea. Like the whole thing was suddenly like my art teacher's like, congratulations. I'm like, for what? They're like, your art won. Really cool. Yeah. So like, do I, I was like, do I get like a prize or ribbon? No, no, no. It stays with the congressman. What? Yeah. It ends up in the congressman's office. What? Like the whole, yeah, it was so hard. And I was young. I wasn't like taking names and thinking smart. I did ask like, do I get it back? Like, no. Like, what? And looking back, like how did the English teacher and the math teacher and everybody else just decide that it was okay for me to sit and make art through all my classes? Like that seems weird. Probably because I probably wasn't going to do the work anyways. So they might as well be quiet and keep myself entertained and doing something else. I just realized I just answered my own question in my head. There, I was being quiet and not bothering anybody. And that was probably seemed pretty awesome from the ADHD kid who's normally got his leg is bouncing and being a distractive menace and stuff. So yeah, maybe that was my. When I was making art, oh yeah. Yeah, like just like the bracelets. Like seriously, yeah, ask Mandy. Like I can be gone for hours. She won't hear anything from me unless it's my computer's, volume's up too much. Yeah, when I think about like what teachers have to go through, having a student who's really probably, doing bad anyways, as long as they aren't just causing a disturbance, like that's just still a plus. Did we lose Rainbow somewhere along the ways? I haven't heard from her. Or is she busy
He's probably busy
doing the
moderating.
moderating? Yeah. But she's a nicer moderator. Don't throw hate just because she moderate.
That's a slogan.
That's the slogan. Yeah. I remember one time I got a new notebook and I don't know what inspired it, but I started out with drawing part of a house on the first page, but I kind of ran out of space. So then I kind of brought the page over and then had it continue on into the next page. And like once that got started, it was like I just ran with it. It must have been 8, 10, 12 pages worth of this house thing continuing on and on. It was so cool. Is it really? Damn it. I thought it was midnight. I swear to God. I am like, yeah, there was the whole muffin thing. Oh, now that's got me thinking of the muffin song. What's muffin time? Yep. See, I never, I I could get like C's and D's, but I could never ace anything. And no matter how hard I studied, I couldn't ace something if my life depended on it. And a lot of that probably came down to the fact that I couldn't spell anything. I don't think I'm dyslexic, but there is something that kind of doesn't put things around the right way. And then um there's like a lot of faults in my head. Well, when I was really young, I mean, really young, like 8 years old or something, I had a fever that it was like 107 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius, but really a high fever. That might have killed off some brain cells. So I know that one of these bluish strings here is shorter than the rest, and I don't know where it is now. And I know that at some point I have to replace it, but I'm not sure which one it is, and now I'm really bothered by not knowing it. So yeah, if we take this to 1 a.m., that'll be what, 11 hours of work into this project. So that probably makes a lot of sense. So since I can't seem to keep track of the time at all, um, if somebody can let me know when that comes, that would be nice. Yeah, I did like if you made it like a like use reasoning to give, like if it was like a the A B C or D answers and stuff, I did really really well. If I could like look at it and be like, well, that sure isn't it, and that's not it, I could do it. But I couldn't necessarily like just tell you, an answer for whatever. So yeah, like there were times I did exceptionally well, and times I just couldn't. I think the colors seem right. It just doesn't seem. I have to figure out if there's a way of like brightening things just a little bit. Like it just seems like there's just like I have the light here is super super bright, but on my screen it just doesn't. Well, it just seems like there's not as much light. I don't know. Ouch.
Wait, which screen are you looking at?
The the stuff. Does it look like it's a little dingy lit?
No.
Really?
Which screen are
Oh,
you looking
on
at?
my computer?
Yeah,
The actual
the
monitor. The
the vertical one,
the thing that starts with a B.
the BenQ.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it looks dull to you. That one's got a blue light.
Oh.
Everything is dialed down to protect your eyes.
Oh. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed with how much we accomplished, but then at the same time I was like I kind of had in my head that maybe we'd actually get done. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to take most of next week's um, thing to finish this, but it'll probably be done next week. Which means I need to start having Mandy work on the kumis to the loops to the bag that will come after this. Not that she has to do it right away, but I won't feel comfortable with the knowledge that this will be done at any time and I don't have those things ready. Like that's like that um kind of anxiety that comes from like knowing that something is coming really freaks me out because like I know that if I just be like I'm like, oh, we can wait and do it after, and then she gets tied up with work and can't get to it, suddenly I have nothing to work on and like wow. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Basically, I'm going to bring it down. There's 8 loops. So I'm going to bring the base down to 4 triangles and then I'm going to turn it inside out and I'm going to tie the strings to the neighboring triangle. Like this is a triangle right here. If I tie these across and bring them in, it'll cinch the whole thing up and make a rather boxy sort of bag out of this. That's how it works. But still tune in to watch how it's done because, that'll be fun too. I just don't want to, I don't want you to suffer from the suspense. Suddenly it seems like it's lost. Did you see there was um a Twitter account where somebody had started the first tweet like that and they waited, I don't know if it was like 7 years or something before they did the rest of the anticipation thing. The rest of it came. And like somebody, yeah, like, but they waited years before they hit the punchline to it. And like whoever discovered it was just like, hell yeah, that was a thing. So it's no, it's gonna be, hang on. Bring up a similar ish. So like none of the bags are really the same. I always change up stuff, but oh, did you guys know that my whole website went down for a day last week? Like that stressed me out a lot. Yeah, it was legendary. All right, desktop. So like this bag. Um, see that doesn't. Okay, so this one has a spiral base. The one that we're doing is going to be. Let's see if the other one has more of a square base. That was a spiral. That was kind of special. That's more like it. So it's just a little round bag. Whoops. Kind of draws in at the top. I don't know why all of our pictures have it closed up so tight. It opens up pretty nice. Um, but then this one, the base where like the colors lined up was like really interesting, intense. This will be way different from that. But yeah. So have any of you guys ever heard of a band called Zug Island? They are a cross between ICP and like regular rock and roll. Well, I don't know how you call it regular rock and roll. Like a kind of a medley rock kind of sound. They're kind of very, very different. They're from like the area in Michigan. Well, closest, I think. Well, I don't know if all of them are, but I know that the band itself, the whole concept or whatever, came from Southeast Michigan. They do a cover. What was the song from the? Oh man, this is totally ADHD. This is totally me. Like I'm gonna have. What was the vampire movie that had like a real young? Oh, what's his name? The pretty boy. Lost Boys. What was the song from Lost Boys that was the big hit? See, now I actually have to look this up. Do you remember the movie Lost Boys? 87. Jeez, a criminy. All right. So let's see. Cast was Kiefer Sutherland. So yeah, when he was young, and Corey Feldman when they're young. And then do. What was the big song? Cry. I think the song was called Cry. I'm pretty sure that was it. I can't for now for the life of me tell you how it goes because I have other songs in my head. Yeah, pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, sorry. Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, he was so young back then. Yeah, this younger generation has their sparkly vampires. Yeah, I had like Kiefer Sutherland vampires. It was a great show, by the way. That was if you had a chance to watch that movie, go watch it. Watch it. It's probably on like one of the streaming platforms. I have no idea what one, but yeah, it's got to be available. It's just old, and they probably don't care about it trying to make any more money. It's just that old. Wait, what year was that? 80s?
87.
Yeah, I've been making bracelets since then. Ouch. I suddenly realized the old thing was like, I've seen a lot of memes, but I'm always down for more. I have no idea which 80s memes. I don't even think the newer generation claims the sparkly vampire, except for some girls who were like smitten with the whole thing, which I never understood. I didn't get it. I did take my son to the spoof movie. There was one that just totally made fun of the whole thing. We thought that was hilarious. I don't remember when that came out or what it was called, but I do remember that. Yeah, there was a lot of that, wasn't there? Yeah, back in the day, like the things that would go on in schools in general, like the things. So I probably talked about this before. When I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance for religious reasons, and as a result, other kids would go home and ask their parents, like, "What's that about?" And their parents were automatically like, "That's so anti-American, and he's whatever, like just terrible things." So these kids would come back and they would beat the hell out of me, like seriously, on a daily basis. And somehow the school acted like, well, maybe he should learn to fight back. And my parents were absolutely adamant about the fact that we don't do that. And so on a daily basis, I would get lumped up. And I mean seriously, like lumped up, like, knots on my head and bruises and just it was tough. I hated school. Yeah, that probably really like my early, because by the time I got to like junior high and stuff, my father had passed away and I stopped doing things that would get me beaten up and tried to blend in as best as I could. So yeah. Yeah, everything was essentially better than Twilight. Yes. What was the? Let's see, now that I've got my phone open, new tab. Yeah, so in 2010 there was a comedy parody that came out that was called Vampires Suck, and that was pretty hilarious. And according to this, it says where to watch, and it's got Netflix and Amazon Prime. I don't know. It's got a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's it's one of those ones though. It's so bad. It's the good. It goes back to being good again. But yeah, a 4%. Wow. Is there? I don't think there's too many that go lower than that. Is there? Holy smokes.
12:59.
Is it really? Yeah, there's occasionally some good bad films that are just amazing. I like some of the really good like cult classics like the Buckaroo Banzai. That is an amazing film, and that's got what's that guy's name? John Good Good. Wait, the slightly crazy guy. What's his name? John something. He does an amazing role in that. Hang on, now I gotta look up that one. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the Eighth Dimension. Blah blah blah. Cast: John Lithrow, um, Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Lloyd, Clancy Brown. They're like, there's just yeah, there's a lot of great people. If you haven't seen it, you gotta check that one out. That is brilliant. Have I seen The Room? Is it like meant to be a scary movie? It sounds like it's meant to be scary. Because I don't think I've seen that one. The Sasquatch game? No. Game. No, that's Sasquatch game. Like that's that sounds hilarious. Like that's like some of the ones I'm thinking of. Like there was one like strippers versus zombies. Like like something happened in the world and the zombies were there and the strip club, the strippers were like, it was just like a bikini film. There wasn't a whole lot of nudity or whatever, but like they were trying to protect themselves again. It was just stupid. It was hilarious. Bad. Okay, so now I have homework this week. If you guys can help me find clips from my videos to turn into shorts, that would be awesome. Also, like maybe watch a playlist or two. We're seriously trying to get these watch hours up. We did really good this week, by the way. We're like over 100 hours in 1 week, which is kind of good for this channel. So yeah, I'd like to totally make that go much higher. Um, it's not quite as far as I wanted to get with this, but that's okay. I just want to kind of finish out this row here. I don't like leaving it in a really weird spot. All right, cool. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me so long. It's been like 3 hours of fun, and I do mean this has been fun. Trying to figure out which button I need to press. I need to thank my Patreon supporters who make the videos and stuff possible. Without the contribution, I would not be able to afford the string to do these projects. So I really want to thank everybody who helps make that possible. And yeah, I will be back again next week. I don't even know what the date is. Are we coming up to the yeah,
Not yet.
okay. So like next week
Oh wait,
is
it is
what? The first Sunday of the month is
the 1st of October.
right. Are we doing the hangout then? So yeah,
Should be.
next week, I don't know. I guess we probably will. So like next week we'll be back with more of this, and then the 1st of October is the patron hangout. So that'll be a thing. So yeah. And no, thank you for mentioning the whole BB thing because honestly, we can be an alternative to them and we can turn the website into something that we share patterns that if they don't like it, it doesn't matter because I like the idea of having this kind of stuff. This stuff is brilliant. I just don't know how to put it together in a way that it's easy to share. So if you can help me figure out how to do that, let's do that. Let's make that a thing. So yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch. Oh, that was not the right button. There it is. Good night, everybody. Thank you.